host, Kevin Smith. My guest this evening is Robert Collins. And Robert, I want us to get into this a little bit deeper here because the title of the book is Exempt from Disclosure. And I want us to get around to talking about who is exempt, how is it they're exempt, and is that permanent. But first, let's deal with a couple of things that I know people are going to want to know about. EBE1 and EBE2, the aliens. Your book talks about them in some detail. EBE1, I believe, is the one that was alive after the Roswell crash and was taken into custody as a special guest. Is that correct?
Yes, huh?
And what's the important, aside from the novelty factor that, hey, here's a little guy from another planet, what would turn out to be the importance of EBE1?
It's because as it details it, I think it's excruciating detail in the book you have there. Mm-hmm. He was the first live alien they ever recovered. And they wanted to grill him as much as they could. In fact, everything was, since he had no real voice box, everything was telepathic from EBE1. They had to come up a way to get him to talk, and they implanted a voice box in him in either the late 40s or early 50s. I can't be sure. But they had an old Army colonel named Redlinger who lived with EBE1 from 1947 to 1952 when he died.
He was able to tell them, I think it was EBE1, what planet he came from and what star system, or was that EBE2?
No, that was EBE1, and it was, of course, the Zeta Reticuli star system.
At that time, did we even know about the Zeta Reticuli star system?
Not to my knowledge. We had no knowledge of that system.
This, of course, is the star system that, or at least many people say so, that Betty Hill depicted in her star map drawing that she did, and later an astronomer worked it out that it was Zeta Reticuli if you were at Zeta Reticuli looking towards the Earth. I believe,
right.
And at the time she drew it, we did not know about the Zeta Reticuli system.
That's true, publicly.
Yeah, publicly.
Yes, but the government knew about it ever since they had been debriefing EBE1.
Now EBE2, who is EBE2?
That's a male, and he arrived in 1964 as part of that. I shouldn't mention the word Serpo because it's gotten so much flack from a lot of critics. But he was part of that Serpo exchange program, but he came in 1964 before our 12 people left in 1965.
So that project actually happened?
I ran into that project when I was at FTD back in 1985.
That's interesting. You know, I've said on the show here that although all that information has been coming out just over the past year or so, it's been hitting the internet and it blew up into a big story and all that. But you know, somewhere back around, I think it was around 1996, 97, I ran into that information on the fledgling early internet. And the story has changed a little bit from what I ran into back then, but I had it, I printed it out and had it back then. So it's not brand new information, and you ran into it in 1985.
Right.
All right. Did we learn anything significant from EB2?
Well, when EB2 arrived, he brought a copy of the Yellow Book with him in 1964, which is their history of the universe. And he updated the Yellow Book to the time to the Roswell crash in 1947. So he was able to update the book for us, but it's on a tablet kind of maybe 9 by 12 inches or 9 by 10 inches, and it's maybe an inch or inch and a half or 2 inches thick. And when you try to read it, it automatically follows your eye movement. So as you read down the page, it moves the page up. And I understand that the longest time that anybody's tried to read the Yellow Book was 22 hours. But they say it takes a lifetime to get through it.
So it's got more information in it than its size would indicate.
Well, you spend your entire career reading the Yellow Book, and then you'd have to live another 80 years. If you lived to be 80 years old, you need to live another 80 years to understand it.
There was also, if I remember correctly, a female extraterrestrial that was here.
That was EB3.
And EB1 and 2 lived on military compounds, but she did not, right?
EB1 lived in a special holding facility at Los Alamos, and EB2 was in a special, actually in a what they call the Dulce complex at Los Alamos. And EB3 was kind of like a liaison between her civilization and the U.S. government. She was more like an ambassador type.
And so she did not live in these secured compounds.
She lived in the Washington, D.C. area in a special safe house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would assume, though, that there had to be some means of her being transported around without people in Washington, D.C. seeing her.
Well, I understand if you just put some clothes on them, people can't tell the difference. And if you're in a very metropolitan area, if you look a little weird, it won't matter.
That is true. That's very true. There are two Area 51s you mentioned, the one we all know about, and then there's another Area 51 at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Is there any significance to that?
The only significance is that we think they took the Area 51 logo or name here and that was in 1945, and just moved it out to Nevada.
All right, and in Nevada, there you on page 82, you make just a one-paragraph mention that there has been reported some activity, UFO activity, alien activity in Nevada. Would that be Indian Springs?
It'd be a facility that's, if I'm trying to picture this in my head, it would be southeast of Indian Springs, maybe a good 20 or 30 miles, and it's a special Air Force facility that Rick Doty was at back in 1969, that he reported that huge UFO that they had donated to us that sat in a hangar there at that special facility in 1969.